BTS Illegal Army brings you divorced Hearts Jimin FF. Jimin was smiling with his eyes closed as his beautiful wife gently kissed his cheek. Good morning, Jimin. Suddenly his eyes snapped open, widening in shock as he jolted awake. Jimin? Jimin pushes his damp hair back, sighing heavily. He dragged himself to the shower and with every drop of water cascading down his skin, your memories came crashing in like a storm. The words I love you were still faintly imprinted on the fogged shower mirror, etched by your finger every morning as a steam kissed the glass. For 3 long months he had left those marks untouched, unable to wash away what you had written, unable to wash away you. Stepping out, Jimin fixed his suit in silence, but his heart remained heavy. It's been a year, Jimin, and you still miss her like it's the first day after you divorced her. I didn't divorce her, she asked for that, eyes rolled. By the way, I am going to Busan for a week, maybe longer. Many companies there are gaining recognition. I will be collaborating with one of them. He straightened his collar, sprayed cologne, his expression a mark. I heard from someone that she also shifted Busan after the divorce. Jimin froze, his throat tightening. He swallowed hard, quickly turning the frame on his dresser so your photo no longer faced him, and walked out without another word. In jet. You are happier than me, Hoseok. Smile softly. Yes, my love is in Busan. Lucky? You can be too. No, letting go of luck with your own hands mean you can't ever be lucky again. His voice heavy said, What? Frowns. I am older than you, but sometimes you say deeper things than I ever could. Shrugs faintly. Anyway, did you ask Mr. Kim to be there? We need him. He was on leave, but I texted him. He will arrive tomorrow. Jimin only nodded, leaning back, eyes fluttering close as exhaustion pulled at him. Flashback. Jimin, why are you like this, huh? Disappointed. Jimin ripped off his wristwatch, slamming it against the table harshly. I could ask you the same. Is it really necessary to go there every week? Can't you understand I don't like you visiting them? Are you hearing yourself? That is my house. I visit my dad and brother. What's wrong with that? Frowning. Just don't ask me to meet them. Why? Angrily. What's so wrong about greeting them nicely? Does it hurt your ego? Yeah, it does. He turned sharply to face Theo, fury burning in his eyes. I can't just sit at your dad's feet and let him say whatever he wants. Who asked you to do that? I begged for you once. Don't expect me to do it again. I made them agree to us once. But if they disappoint me again, I'm not going to beg again. Sighs. His tone sharp. It's that simple. You nodded repeatedly, voice trembling but soft. If you can't handle this relationship, if for you it's just once and never again, then let it go. I want a divorce. Jimin's eyes widened, but then his blood boiled. Fine. Your heart shattered, tears streaming, but he stormed out, slamming the door, leaving you broken. Flashback ends. Divorced hearts. They ended their marriage, but not their story. Jimin jerked awake, drenched in sweat. His breath uneven, heart slowing painfully. He poured himself a drink and downed it in one go, trying desperately to numb the ache glowing at his chest. At night party venue. The moment he entered, camera flashes blinded him, and reporters screamed his name. Jimin walked with calm authority, discussing with other CEOs and officials. It's so nice to see you here, Park. You must go with the Kims. They are ruling the sun now. Never heard of the Kims. Frowns. A new young CEO? She is taking her business to the next level, sipping his drink. She must be hardworking. She is proud. I will be her official collaborator before, so I want to give you this. Lee handed him a tablet. Jimin skimmed the document, raising an eyebrow. Do you want me to sign this? Sighs. Jimin, your dad and I were best friends. Trust me, she will bring enormous profit. She is searching for the right partner for her big project, and I think you are the best choice. Go for it. Ask your advisor, then sign. Jimin passed the tab to Hoseok. Hoseok asked Namjoon, if he finds no issue, tell me to sign. Smiles faintly. Lee patted his shoulder approvingly. Then may I go? I want to look for her. Jimin sighed, nodding silently at Hoseok walked off with excitement. Let me get you a drink. How about black wine? I will raise. I can handle, but Mr. Lee, hey, your dad and I used to drink for hours, okay? From who do you think you get tolerance for drinking? The two chuckled and walked together to the bar. There she is, beauty with brains. He looked at Mr. Lee and smiled as you began walking towards him. Jimin turned, and the moment your eyes met, both hearts skipped a beat. The world seemed to pause for a fleeting second before you instantly look away. Looking beautiful, you chuckled softly as he patted your head. But before Lee could introduce you to Jimin, his secretary rushed in, whispering something in his ear. Lee excused himself hurriedly, leaving only one instruction: "You two get along, I'll be around." He gave you both a knowing look before walking off. Just then, Hoseok entered with a radiant smile, hand in hand with a woman. "See you, let me introduce you to the love of my life, Sana." You froze, eyes narrowing, staring at Sana, your secretary. Sana smiled shyly, bored. "She is my cousin and my boss, Mayan." Jimin was staring at you, his gaze unreadable, while you smirked faintly. "If Hoseok is the friend of him," pointed to Jimin, "then you must be careful." Without waiting, he walked away. Hoseok frowned, but Jimin quickly followed you outside. He found you standing in the cool night air, lost in thought. Why disturb them? Why spoil their relationship? You turned around, shrugging casually. "She is my cousin. I should warn her. Because if you are around, then a man is all about fake promises." Jimin scoffed, his jaw tightening. "And what about you? Wives are always this selfish, this stubborn." You froze, your anger bubbling. "Visiting my dad is selfishness, wow. So then why is your mom always at home 24/7, huh?" Whisper yell, "Mind your tongue." "I don't understand why we are fighting now, isn't it over long ago?" "Yeah, those 2 months I suffered under your immaturity and your lack of understanding." You glared sharply. 2 months? Freak, those were 3 months. At 10 we got divorced, and exactly when the clock struck 12, it was our 3-month anniversary. Jimin scoffed, and you glared even harder. The two of you stood there in silence for nearly 2 minutes, eyes locked, before finally turning and walking down different paths. Later that night at home, alone in your room, you couldn't hold it anymore. Flashback. I do. Flashback ends. Your eyes filled with tears as you suddenly swept everything off the table, crashing it to the floor. Flashback. You asked for it, and here they are. Sign it and F off. Unbothered. You looked down at the papers, frowning as the words blurred in your tearful gaze. Divorce papers. Your heart shattered, but your pride didn't let you beg or apologize. With trembling fingers, you picked up the pen and signed immediately. F off with your ego, Park Jimin. You are the jerk I married, and letting go of your egoistic world is the best thing I can do. Ryan wait. But you didn't bother to listen. You left without turning back. What have you done, Jimin? She is your love. Jimin collapsed to his knees. Flashback ends. A tear slid down his cheek. It's too monthly. Because the first month was just you and me, our romance. The next day, Jimin walked into the huge glass building. Mr. Kim is already inside discussing with Kim's legal advisor Jion. "So how does Namjoon feel about the deal?" He said, "It's a great opportunity." Jimin nodded. "If you say yes, we can work together," smiling. Jimin frowned. "We? Me and Sana?" Jimin's jaw tightened. "The Kim company, it's handled by Kim." Mayan frowned. He sighed, unable to stop the thought from circling his mind. Now I understand why he is calling it a great opportunity. He clearly remembered how his mother and Namjoon were always on your side. Hoseok had joined later, so he didn't know who his ex-wife really was. In the conference room, you sat at the head of the table with both of your legal advisors beside you, Jungkook and Namjoon, along with Sana. Hoseok and Jimin entered, taking their seats across. "Jungkook, I want you to ask them to cancel the document. I'm not interested in this deal," casually. "Backing off will make both companies pay penalties to each other." Jimin was staring at you, his gaze sharp, unreadable. "Jungkook, ask them the amount." Sana handed a check to Hoseok, "And from the parks, we don't want anything." You stood up, leaving Hoseok and Sana in shock. Jungkook and Namjoon exchanged varying glances. Letting personal things destroy a professional contract. That's the most immature thing I have ever heard. He's right, Miss CEO. What will you answer when asked why you broke a contract with such a big company? Our reputation will shatter. You sighed and looked at Jimin. "Fine, from tomorrow at 8 until this contract is completed." You walked out, Sana following you. "Give Mr. Park the office on the 30th floor. Let him decide for Hoseok. Namjoon will work with Jungkook personally." Sana nodded. "And ask Jungkook to meet me in my office now." Them escapes. Jungkook was sitting opposite you, fidgeting slightly under your sharp glare. "Jungkook, will you let go of these stupid things?" "What stupid?" Gulp. Do you think I'm a fool or do you actually think we both stand a chance now? Jungkook let out a deep sigh, his eyes dropping. You blame him and he blames you, but the truth is you both were wrong. Without waiting for your reply, he stood up and walked out. You shook your head, disappointment written all over your face. Meanwhile, on call, as you say, Mrs. Park, but it's too difficult. They are both in a glaring competition. The deal is done, right? Soon they will patch up too. Jungkook is with me as well, so don't worry, we will try to handle them. Smile softly. I hope these two idiots spark again. Next day at 8 sharp, Jimin and Hoseok stood waiting for the elevator. I didn't ask, but that doesn't mean you won't tell me. About what? Frowns. About her? I mean, a girl would only behave like this if a man rejected her or if he didn't understand that she loved him. Before Jimin could respond, the sharp click of heels echoed. Both men turned their heads. You and Sana entered gracefully. Hoseok greeted Sana warmly, but between you and Jimin, not a single word was exchanged. The elevator soon arrived with a soft beep. You and Sana stepped inside. Hoseok moved to follow, but I don't like to be crowded in an elevator. Shucks. Your gaze flickered to Jimin. He shook his head once, grabbed Hoseok by the shirt, and pulled him back. Sana gulped nervously, but you pressed a button and the door slid shut. Neither you nor Jimin broke eye contact until the doors completely closed. Jimin sighed heavily. Mr. CEO, would you like to share what you did to her that she makes us wait another 5 minutes? I don't like when you forget who the boss is. Hoseok gulps hard. From a distance, Namjoon and Jungkook had witnessed everything. At least ask her to lower her attitude. I don't want to lose my job. Namjoon shook his head in disbelief. Finally, it's on 25, 26, 27, 28. Wait, where is 28? Frowns. Jimin's eyes narrowed on the screen. The 27 flickered faintly. He pressed a button again and again. What the hell? Namjoon and Jungkook hurried closer. I think the elevator stopped functioning. Jimin cursed under his breath, then without hesitation stormed towards the stairs. What? Did he just decide to fly by? Namjoon and Jungkook exchanged a small smile. She's scared of elevators. Come this way, Hoseok. This building has another elevator. Hoseok quickly followed. While Jimin was already sweating, climbing flight after flight, his breath were uneven, but his memory of your fear pushed him forward. At the 27th floor, he tried to force the doors open. It wouldn't budge. Snatching a pan, he jammed it into the gap. Prying with all his strength, employees gathered stunned. Is he for real? Wide eyes, straight out of a novel. Blood streaked his hands as he finally managed to wedge it open. Meanwhile, inside the elevator, with a sudden jolt, the elevator stopped. Hua, help. Sana asked for help. You clenched your fist tightly near your chest, breathing raged. Sana fumbled with her phone, but no network. Your palms were damp, sweat dripping as you pushed your hair back. Relax, Miss CEO. Then a sound, metal screeching, a voice straining. Someone was forcing the door open. Relax, I think the staff is already here to help. You swallowed hard, trying to leave her until the door finally creaked open, revealing Jimin. Come on, step out quickly. Two male employees rushed forward, helping both you and Jimin pull yourselves out. The moment you were saved, Jimin released the door. It slammed shut with a violent bang. His hand caught in the process. Jimin hissed as blood streamed from the wound. You froze, staring at him. His hand, the pain in his eyes. Namjoon, Jungkook and Hoseok arrived just in time. Hoseok ran straight to Sana. Are you okay? Voice trembling with concern. Sana nodded softly. You and Jimin's eyes locked again. 1,000 unspoken words swirled between you, but neither dared to let them out. Mr. CEO, I think we should visit a doctor. You broke the gaze, turning cold. Jungkook asked an employee to show them the nursing room. Jungkook nodded quickly as you walked away. Jimin's eyes followed your retreating figure. Every time you walked away, the same old memory replayed. The night you left him after signing the divorce papers. Each step you took now twisted his heart with that same unbearable ache. In the nursing room, the nurse wrapped his wound, speaking softly, but Jimin wasn't listening. He was lost in your memory again. Flashback. Jimin. 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 Yeah, bad Jimin. He suddenly burst into laughter. Frowns. What? Just checking your patience level, and it's 0. Giggles. You pouted, leaning your head against her shoulder. You're right here in front of me, but not looking at me. That's my worst nightmare. He tucked your hair behind your ear, smiling softly. My eyes always turn in your direction because my heart is always looking for you. Flashback ends. A week later, working on the same project wasn't easy. There were no direct conversations between you and Jimin, but both of you knew. Your eyes were always seeking each other. In the canteen, you and Sana sat for lunch. I like Mr. CEO. He has an aura, a real green flag. Of course he is. Who else would run 27 floors just to save two girls? And did you notice how he always stares at Miss CEO? Something is cooking there. Sana giggled. You only rolled your eyes. I'm your cousin and still you don't tell me. Look, Ryan, I know your ex-jerk left you, but Mr. CEO isn't like that. He's a nice one. Size. Can we not talk about men? Okay, as you say. Moments later, Hoseok and Jimin entered. Hoseok went straight to Sana. Miss CEO, if you don't mind, can we both join you? Smiling shyly, of course. You know too. You sighed as Jimin sat across from you, surprised. Look what I was saying. Not all men are the same. Hoseok is perfect. You smacked at Jimin. You are lucky, I guess. You were too. Words slipped out. Really? But you can't trust a man. They change. Glances at Sana. I want promisingly. I guess man love has a time span. What is it? A month? Shucks, clearing. Time span? Are you for real? The better word is patience. Scope. Yeah, right, Sana. Meet us like it's your final goodbye. What if your husband doesn't like you visiting your parents? Jamina scoffed again. Sana and Hoseok exchanged nervous glances. Miss CEO, I think lunch break is over, gulp. Gemini stood fixing his suit sharply. It's not about likes or dislikes, it's about understanding. Something you failed to notice. He left you, stomped your heels on the ground, and stormed off too. Sana and Hoseok sat frozen hands halfway to their plates. Namjoon and Jungkook sighed from the nearby table, having overheard everything. Later that day, you were buried in work when Sana entered your office. Mr. Kang's son has an appointment. Should I send them in? You sighed heavily and gave a small nod. Soon 3 men walked in, their expressions arrogant, their steps too confident. Without waiting for permission, they dropped into the seats across from you. Usually, people wait for the owner to allow them to sit, clears. Menial raised a eyebrow and smacked tugging his lips. Owner mocking. You know what I want, right? Just say yes, come on, or else soft girls like you vanish into thin air and no one ever finds out what happened. You chuckled darkly and leaned back against the table unbothered. Outside the door, Jimin was passing by when his sharp eye caught sight of the 3 men. Their posture, their whispers, their energy screamed danger. Something in him stirred uneasily. One of the faces looked strangely familiar, though he could not place where he had seen him. Instinct pulled him to stop at the doorway. What you want me to do in my factory is against morality, so no. Manuel chuckled low, the sound cooled. Why? You want your parents to suffer through their daughter's death at this age, huh? You maintained a calm posture, but before you could form a reply, the door burst open. Jimin stormed in, his eyes blazing with fury. Without hesitation, he clenched his fist and slammed it across Manuel's jaw. The man fell backwards, crashing to the floor with the chair. You shot up from your seat, instantly calling the guards. The 2 men besides Manuel roared in anger and charged at Jimin, but Jimin's movement was swift and merciless. He landed a punch on one, then turned and struck the other, both crumpling back in pain. Manuel staggered to his feet again, his aura radiating fire and rage. If a lady says no, it is no. His glare sharp enough to cut. The guards burst in, then quickly restraining all 3 men. Show them the exit, calmly. The guards nodded firmly and began dragging the intruders out. Manuel's furious eyes locked onto Jimin, but Jimin remained unbothered, his stance unshaken. As the room quieted, Jimin turned to you, his tone soft, his chest still rising from the fight. Are you okay? You shook your head, clearing instead of answering. This is my office, and besides, there is no need to play hero. There is no one here for you to impress bitterly. Jimin's brows furrowed in disbelief. What? Are you even hearing yourself? He was threatening to kill you, idiot. Not your concern? Folds arm out. You pointed to the door, cold and sharp. Jimin's face froze in shock, but only anger showed through. He kicked the chair harshly, his jaw set before storming out and slamming the door behind him. You stared at the space he had left, your chest tightening, then collapsed back into your chair with a long sigh. But his voice echoed in your head. It's about understanding, which you fail to notice. You whisper into the silence, your throat thick. Where do I fail to understand? It's not like my dad and brother ever treated you badly. It's not like I met strangers or other men. It was just my appa and oppa. So what do I need to understand? Your eyes blurred, a tear or two escaping despite your efforts. The next day, you have to tell me today, that's it. Come on, I know I am your secretary, but don't forget we drink together sometimes, so tell me. Tell me. Now. Even Jimin sighed at the same time. He is my ex-husband. She is my ex-wife. Hoseok's eyes widened as he dropped onto the chair, completely stunned. What? So you mean the man you married when I was abroad was none other than Park Jimin? You nodded quietly. How? How? You began your voice low but carrying airs of fate. We both met at a reunion of our university. We didn't know we were from the same place, just different batches. He was my senior. We were playing truth or dare and she got dared to dance with one of the seniors, Chakal. She approached me. I still remember her red pretty dress hugging her curves, her beautiful smile, her sweet voice. To my surprise, he said yes. Everyone was shocked. Other girls were clearly jealous. While dancing, he asked for my number. I thought it was just for that night, but he called. And she answered. One meeting turned into several turned into dates. We fell in love. I proposed. She was shocked, surprised, but to my luck, she said yes. She even met my Umma and she liked her too. But her dad, he did not like me. My dad said no without even meeting him. On my request, he agreed. I still remember that night. My dad was rude, but Jimin bowed 90 degrees, then went down on his knees asking for me. Mrs. Park assured my dad too, and finally he said yes. He even hugged Jimin. That moment I thought it was fate. The man who knelt for me would ride or die with me, but I was wrong. The first month was amazing. We went on trips, left our companies for break, enjoyed freely. Everything was perfect. I loved her and she loved me. I still remember how she used to write I love you every morning on the shower wall. I used to come out with a smile and scream I love you more with all my lungs. Your voice broke, both of you choking back a lump in your throat. But I never imagined he would change. He became irritated, annoyed. My dad asked him to deal with his acquaintance. Jimin refused, saying it was not the good for his business image. I found it rude, but I still asked my dad to let it go. His business was important. They were not from a good background. Even Namjoon told me to sign because it came from my in-laws, but I could not. I didn't get good vibes. I decided to apologize, but things grew bitter. But he never apologized. He would come to pick me up, but never greeted them, always annoyed when I visited. Where was I wrong in this? Her brother and father called me daily, scolding me like I was their puppet, telling me how to treat my wife, why did I let her go alone, why this, why that. At first I accepted it. She was my wife, so I had no complaints, but she forced me to meet them, greet them, until I realized I had already gone on my knees for her once, not again. I had an ego too, self-respect too. They made me bitter, Hoseok, and when she asked for divorce, I just did. She left me. Soaps. Interval. Take a moment to like. Hoseok stood frozen, then moved forward to hug Jimin. Words stuck in his throat as he saw the tears staining Jimin's eyes. Maybe there is something you are unaware of. Then he should have told me. I was there to listen. Instead, he divorced me, told me to F off. He kept those papers, ruining my self-respect. I would not let him crush me under his shoes, so I signed. You broke down, sobbing into her arms. It had been 2 days, but Jimin still caught sight of Minuel and his men lurking around your office, shadows that refused to disappear. The unease gnawed at him until he finally decided to face you. He knocked firmly on your door. Come in. The door opened, and when you looked up, your face froze. Those men are here again. Look, man, I know I am no one to you. I know you don't want to see my face. But if you want any help, no thanks. Casually. Jimin exhaled sharply, frustration tightening his jaw. Those men seem like gangsters. Keep someone on your side, tell me. I already tried having someone by my side, but he was there only for 3 months. So tell me, Jimin, what's the time spent this time? Because after that, I will still be left fighting Minial alone, right? Averaged. Your words were sharp, mocking. Jimin's hand pressed against your desk and he leaned forward, his voice flat but laced with anger at the edges. Why do you always end up taunting me, huh? Don't you feel it was your mistake too? You asked me to divorce you, so I did. You studied him from head to toe and gave a small bitter note. Then you leaned in as well. Your face now only inches from his. Now I am asking you to let go. Then let it go, Jimin. This is easy. Letting go is even easier than divorce. Jimin scoffed, the sound dripping with disbelief. His blood boiled, veins straining on his temples. You never understand, and you never even tried to. Stop blaming me. You shot up from your chair, anger rolling off you in waves. Stop blaming me that I don't understand, because there is clearly nothing to understand, Park Jimin. You're just an egoistic man who loves his pride more than anything. Your promise to your father to keep your business image shining bright came between us. Your hands trembled as you pushed him back, and while keeping that promise, you let go of every other promise you made. You let go of me, you let go of our relationship. Jimin's eyes blazed, his chest rising and falling rapidly. Do you think I did all this just for business sake? Oh my, you are stupid. You are stupid, Kim Mayan. He couldn't finish, his rage erupted as he stormed out, the door slamming against the wall with a deafening crack. Meanwhile, on call, no updates. They are both standing on the same ground, neither of them is budging. Sighs, age, my wine is so sweet, but my son is jerk. I knew it. I don't think this is going to work. Smacks knowingly. It will, for sure. They are fighting because they still care. When they have to leave each other again, when they still end, both of them will realize letting go again is the most difficult and the most impossible task. Repeating history won't be easy. Later that night in the club, Miss CEO's dad and brother are the villains. No, the villains are time. The time was wrong. Do you think we have to do something? Sips his wine. We have to. Hoseok nodded, worry wrinkling his forehead. But what? From tomorrow Ryan has a meeting, so she will be late. Mr. CEO will surely ask you about her absence. Tell him she is with Jungkook for breakfast. Smack. Why Jungkook? From it's not like there is something between them, but Ryan treats Jungkook differently, and he too. That will spark jealousy. What if he doesn't ask about her absence? Then make him ask you. Hoseok frowned, but he could see the determination in Sana's eyes. Both of them were set on a mission to make you and Jimin fall in love again. Your tears, Jimin silenced the unspoken ache between you both. Those were enough proof that love still lingered, stubborn and alive. Meanwhile, why do you need me? Look, I know you are in this crime world. People call it mafia. Eyes roll. Jimin nodded quickly. I want you to help the CEO of Kim's empire. What kind of help? Gulping. Some men are bothering her. I don't know what they want, but she's clearly upset. Can you make them stop? My ways are different. Don't complain later. Poke his inner cheek. Relax, I want. I can't help her because I know they seem like you. They clear cut him off. I mean, like criminals. Forced smiles. Who is she to you? Jimin's heart clenched, his lip parted before he caught himself. Every clear shot. She is no one. They narrowed his eyes, sipping his drink, silently dissecting Jimin's lie. The next morning, Jimin was buried in paperwork in his office, brows furrowed as he flipped through a file. His focus was broken when Hoseok entered with the usual cheerful grin. Anything you want, Mr. CEO? Smile. Jimin looked up at him, frown settling deeper. In the past hour, you have asked me that same question 7 times. Is everything alright? Giggle. Ani, just checking if you want something or maybe you want to ask something. Jimin shook his head and sighed, waving him off. Hoseok nodded, turning to leave when Jimin's next word made him pause and smack. Clear thought. Where is Miss CEO? With Jungkook? Jimin's head snapped up instantly. Jungkook? The legal advisor. From. Why is he with her? Shrugs innocently. Mola? Sana told me that both came to the office after having breakfast together. Jimin scoffed, glaring at Hoseok. Talk less, work more. Go. Hoseok gulped and left quickly. Later, Jimin lingered near the entrance, his eyes scanning impatiently. And then he saw you walking in with Jungkook at your side, his jaw clenched tight, blood boiling. But instead of confronting, he hurried to the elevator and pressed a button. Even Jungkook walked toward it as well. Jimin glared daggered at Jungkook. Jungkook frowned confused and Jimin turned to look at you, but you looked away uninterested. So tell me, what's your point? I think working with them is fine, but let's make the deal for a short term. If they, hello Miss CEO, hey Jungkook, what's up? Namjoon, are you blind or am I invisible? Angrily. Your frown deepened at his behavior. Sana and Hostuk joined too, sensing the tension. Before anyone could add a word, the elevator dinged open. Jimin waits for you to walk in first. As soon as you did, he follows. You stepped inside. Jungkook followed too, but froze when Jimin blocked him. Isn't Miss CEO someone who doesn't like crowds in the elevator? Jungkook swallowed hard, stepping back. But 3 people isn't that crowded, Jungkook. You can. No, you can't. Claiming. Your patience stepped. What happened to you all, huh? The whole group looked at you in silence. Yes, they are all idiots, Gulp. Without another word, he pressed the button and the elevator door slid shut. Hoseok and Sana burst into laughter outside, while Jungkook and Namjoon exchanged frown of confusions. Later at a cafe, so you two decided to make him jealous with my name, without even telling me, Scoof. Look, bud, we just want them back together. Me too, me three. Namjoon shot him an "Are you serious" look. And Mrs. Park too, so let's do this together. He stretched out his hand. One by one, they all placed theirs on top. Determination sparked in each of their eyes. Later, why call me urgently? Have a seat, dude. Jimin sighed but sat down across from him. You asked me to investigate Minion and threaten him to stay away from CEO Wyan? Jimin nodded, leans forward, voice dark. But how can I threaten prey to stay away from the animal? What did you mean by this, and are you calling Minion prey? Phone. He was the second most famous drug supplier in Korea, and your CEO Wyan's factory, it's been producing drug, dealing with the number 1 supplier. Jimin shot up from his chair, adjusting his suit furiously. He pulled an envelope from his pocket. Thank you. Here's your paycheck, but you are of zero help. You should change your man because they are stupid to feed you wrong information angrily. Chuckled starkly. Crazy over a girl who seems innocent but runs a drug business in the shadows. Shut up. They mans immediately pulled their gun, pointed them at Jimin. Lower your tone, dude. My bullet, your chest. Scoof. I'm not scared. And that girl you are talking about is my wife. Don't you dare. Put your gun down. The man obeyed instantly. Listen, Park, my information is never wrong. Her father and brother are involved, and she is the one secretly dealing. At first they worked with Miniel, later Luca offered more, so they abandoned him. Now Miniel is desperate to get back in, or else why would a drug lord step into a perfectly legal empire to push supply? Jimin's fist trembled, shock coursed through him, but denial was stronger. He stormed out without another word. Rain poured heavily outside. Jimin ripped off his coat, walking aimlessly through the streets. Thong's word echoed relentlessly in his head. No drug dealer would step into a legal empire unless they already had a hand in it. Jimin pushed his damn hair back, heart thundering. A memory flashed many years ago, sent by your father for a deal he had rejected. His chest tightened. I trust you, man, and I will never let that trust break. He dials Namjoon's number and soon the call connects. Mr. Kim, do you remember when Miniel visited us with deal? My wife's brother requested me to consider it. Yes, Mr. CEO, I do remember. But what about it? We rejected the offer. Exactly. Why did you tell me it was not a good deal to make? Gulp. Mr. CEO, I found out he was involved in illegal work. Dealing with him would have ruined our company's reputation. Jimin cuts the call and exhales sharply, his chest tightening. He walks in silence, replaying every memory of how your relationship had started to fall apart after he rejected that deal. His feet move on their own, carrying him straight to your house just a few streets away from the club. As he passes through the grand gates, a rush of memories floods him. How you once begged your father for you, how he fought for your hand, and how later his own pride smothered every ounce of that love. He doesn't dare enter through the main door. Instead, he looks for another way inside, planning to trespass into your room. But before he could act, your father and brother stepped out into the garden. Startled, Jimin hides in the shadows, his breath caught. Dad, enough of this. We have to handle Manuel. If Mayan gets even a hint of something suspicious, she will dig until she finds the truth. Mr. Kim sighs heavily. I don't understand why mom made her the heiress when I am right here. Because you are my son, not hers. You are her stepson. Jimin's eyes widen. The truth slices through him like glass. She doesn't even know, and yet she never asked me for anything, never even told me to look after for business even after her marriage. That's why I never wanted her to marry, but she went on a food strike and bitterness in his tone. He knelt. What was I supposed to do? He was a CEO after all. I thought he could support us. Sneers. That Jimin is a complete idiot. He refused Manuel's deal just like you said he would, and stupid Mayan was about to hand him the power of attorney so she can start a family with him, always ignoring me. Jimin's heart sinks deeper with every word. His fists tremble. Relax, didn't I stop it? I made sure he left Mayan on his own. Those two are so immature and complete fools. Jimin feels the ground slip beneath him. His blood burns. His chest aches. He was the fool. He was the idiot. He was the puppet in their game while you were the victim. Jimin whispers, his voice breaking. I'm sorry, my love. I was so stupid. He stumbles away, his heart screaming, his tears refusing to stop. The guilt crushes him until he can't hold it anymore. Jimin, you're an idiot. A complete moron. You're stupid. He throws his coat. His coat hits the ground with force. He knelt and cried. He runs through the heavy rain, through the shadows, his body soaked but his mind burning. He bursts into your office like a storm, pulling files, searching desperately. His hands shake but he finds nothing, no trace of illegal drugs, no evidence, only emptiness. In his rage, he throws everything off the table and screams, his voice raw. Then the last drawer. He opens it, his heart stops. It's your photo with him, hidden, the frame kept upside down, buried in the dark. His fingers tremble as he picks it up, caressing the glass, his tears falling over your smile. Jimin sinks into the sofa, hugging the frame to his chest. For the girl I even begged for, how stupid of me to let her go when she only wanted a family with me. She was about to give me everything and I let my pride take it all away. He sobs quietly, clutching the frame until sleep steals him away in sorrow. Next morning, you step into your office and freeze. He is there, Jimin, asleep on your couch, the room in chaos. But your eyes fall not on him but on the mess. With a deep sigh, you call the helper and order him to clean quietly. Once everything is settled, you kneel in front of Jimin, hesitantly caressing his cheeks. A smile is spread across his lips at your touch. For a moment, you forget everything and let out a soft giggle, but the sound wakes him. You open his eyes and instinctively you whisper, Good morning, Jimin. Your eyes widen, you quickly rise, but he catches your wrist. Good morning, sighs. I am sorry. You must have 1,000 questions. I was just searching for no need for explanation. It doesn't matter anymore, Scopes. You have already hurt me enough. Nothing you do now will bother me. Jimin gaze softened with regret. I'm sorry. You scoff again, but before more could be said, Sana burst in. Your brother Kai is here. Jimin's eyes widened in panic. Don't let him know I was here. You from what? He rushes into the restroom and locks the door. You bang on it furiously. Are you scared or what? The door suddenly opens and he pulls you inside, locking it again. Your chest collides with his. You are too close, dangerously close. You can hear his heartbeat and he can hear yours. I wonder what if he hears. He twists the shower knob, hot water streams down, steam filling the room, blurring the air. You gasp as the heat touches your skin. His hand trails down your arm, tracing gently until his fingers find yours. Your breaths are uneven. He lifts your hand, intertwining your fingers, and slowly begins to trace letters across the mirror. You glance sideways. He is writing, I love you. You yank your hand away, a tear slipping down your cheek. These words don't matter anymore. You shut off the tap and turn away, but he grabs your arm, his voice breaks. It is still there, Wine. On my class, every morning, whether you want it or not, I see your love staring back at me. Let it go, Jimin. It's one-sided. You never loved me. You know that's not true. I loved you then, I loved you now, and I will love you forever. You push him, tears spilling. Then why did you let me go? Tell me why? Looks down broken. I was a fool. You shake your head, pushing past him. But as you open the door, Sana and Hoseok stand outside, wide-eyed. Jimin rushed towards, shielding your wet shirt with his body. Hoseok, bring me a coat. Hoseok nods and hurries off, still stunned, smirking. Honestly, you look more handsome in a wet shirt. You scoff and push Jimin aside. Keep your dramatics away from me. No one here is impressed. Jimin nods silently. You were shocked for a moment but eventually sank into your chair. Well, Kai was asking for you, so I told him you were in a meeting. Jimin was still standing there, his presence heavy and unsettling. Well, your today's schedule is. You raised your palm to stop her, eyes locking on Jimin with a sharp glare. He only shrugged in response, your eyebrow arched in question. He made an exaggerated O shape with his lips before finally leaving your office. Jimin ran his finger through his hair in frustration and marched straight into Jungkook's office. Jungkook stood up immediately, startled as Jimin barged in. Namjoon, I want your help. His eyes shifted to Jungkook, who was about to sit back down but froze midway. And yours too. Jungkook and Namjoon exchanged a wary look, sensing the seriousness in his voice. Time skips. Can I trust you? His gaze lingered on Jungkook. Namjoon nodded firmly. If I tell Mayan, she won't believe me, so we need them to confess. For that, I want you to handle the inspection of finance. Okay, but are you sure her family is behind it? I don't want to believe it, but I heard it myself, sighs deeply. Namjoon patted Jimin's shoulder gently. You are doing good. Keep going. Jimin shook his head, eyes heavy with pain. She needs me. In a world full of traitors, I am the only one she has. And yet what I did. By this I may never get her back, but at least I will feel at ease. You will get her. Don't worry, she is still yours. Smiles reassuringly. While Jimin was reviewing your files, he noticed minor errors. Across the room, Sana was busy on a call, oblivious that you were quietly listening. What do you mean, Hoseok? You mean to say Mr. Kim and Kai are secretly running an illegal drug business through her factory? Your eyes widened, you almost called out to her but stopped yourself. Without a word, you left for home. Ask Miss CEO not to visit home yet. Minil and Loka are there. Did they suspect anything? Not yet. They were asking about the inspection result. I said some minor errors are normal, no issues. Good. I will stop mine from visiting. He strode towards your office, but you were gone. Looking for wine? Jimin nodded. She left early today. Jimin eyes widened. What? What? Frown. He cursed under his breath and stormed out. Meanwhile, you entered your home and froze at the sight of Minil and other men drinking and laughing with your father and brother. You frowned wide shut. What is he doing here? Kai and Mr. Kim stiffened. Mr. Kim gulped nervously, but Kai stepped forward. They are my friends. Go to your room. Friends? He is asking me to sell drugs, and him? You pointed at Luca. He is the most infamous drug dealer alive. Luca chuckled and sipped his drink. Doing business with us while pretending innocence. For whom? Huh? Luca. But Luca strode towards you, about to touch you until you stepped back. I will give 70% of the profit if you give her to me. Your blood boiled and your hand flew before you could stop yourself. Slap. How dare you? Who told you you can buy me? I am not a product. And what 70%, huh? Kai grabbed your arm harshly, dragging you back. Your glare was like fire. Are you stupid? Don't you know who he is? Whisper yelled. Meanwhile, Jimin was racing his car towards you, panicking burning in his chest. In this cruel world of mafias and drug dealers, he was just one man, a mere man, and yet his only thought was you. He was terrified he couldn't protect you if things worsened. Still, he was determined. If it cost his life, then so be it. Back at home, Luca yanked your hair back harshly. Dead, you clawed at his hand, nail digging it. Take her away, but keep her alive. If she dies, her business will go to the trust. Your heart stopped, you froze, staring at your father in disbelief. Your chest ached so strongly it felt like your ribs were cracking. For a moment, your grip faltered. Then you forced yourself to steal up again. You were alone in this, and you had to be strong. Guy smacked and reclined in his chair. Chuckles, good one, Dad. Let me have her too. Just for a day or two, she's such a pain. I would love to torture her, treating teeth. A tear escaped your eyes, but you shoved him away. I never thought you would do this to me, Dad. Oh, sweetie, you know nothing. You are just a joker in this game. Your marriage, your divorce, your factory, all cards be played. Your brows furrowed as your chest tightened. That idiot wanted to marry you but refused to sacrifice his business for your sake. He refused to deal with minion. Smacks. So we made him realize how small he was, degraded him, bust his phone for your security and care until he got fed up. Your eyes filled with tears because you thought to hand over your business to him. You ignored my existence. He threw wine at you. The liquid ran down your face as you looked down, weak and broken. We are all drug dealers smuggling through your factories. They all laughed at your vulnerability. But you brushed your wet hair back and then you smacked. You calmly took a seat, their laughter died. You lifted your phone and turned the screen towards them, their faces drained of color. Samsung Z Flip advantage, smacked. You leaned forward, filling a glass with wine as you showed them a recorded voice note. You recorded their voice just through the cover screen. I always knew you both didn't love me, I felt it. But when you accept Jimin, I was surprised. I thought, okay, sip. Then the endless dinners, lunches, breakfast. I was blind not to see the plan, blind enough to let him go, the love of my life. Your voice cracked. I was a fool. When Manuel approached, I secretly inspected my company, nothing suspicious, so I thought I was safe. But now I know why. You were ruining me while thinking you would escape. You hurled the wine at your brother, jerk. You waved mockingly at Manuel and Luca. You want me to have me? I am not naive, sweet little girl. Imagine my husband divorced me in just 3 months. Wink. Jimin entered just in time but smirked impressively at your words. Chuckles, you can't escape. He pulled out a gun and aimed at you, panicking. No, we can't kill her, stop. But Luca pulled the trigger anyway, frustration snapping. You froze but the bullet never touched you. Jimin had stepped before you, shielding you with his own body. The police sirens spilled outside. Panic spread like wildfire as a man tried to escape, but officers stormed in, guns drawn. Minion, Luca, Kai, and Mr. Kim were dragged away in cuffs, but you stood frozen. You knelt beside Jimin, his head resting on your lap. Jimin sobs. Your husband was a fool, played like a joker instead of being a king for his queen. Shut up. Sobbing. Someone call an ambulance, please. Ma'am, it's on the way. You nodded frantically. Chuckles weakly. Hearing you flaunting your divorce was my Roman Empire. He groaned in pain. I was a fool to let you go. The ambulance arrived. Ward boys placed him on a stretcher. Jimin grabbed your hand tightly. Time escapes. Jungkook arrived in a rush, calling everyone. Soon Namjoon, Hoseok, and Sana were there. How is Mr. CEO? Concerned. He will be okay, Hoseok. Don't worry. She walked over to you. Are you okay? Concerned. You hugged her tightly, crying uncontrollably. I was a fool. They made us divorce and we fell for it. I was a fool, Sana, to let him go. He was right. I never understood. They were humiliating him. I thought business was his priority, but why not? I always prioritized my mother's business. I never let Kai ruin it. Sana patted your back gently. Jungkook stepped closer. Relax, Ryan. He knows now. He overheard your parents and brother days ago. He knew he was just used, manipulated. He wanted to help you, but all of this happened. You cried harder hearing the truth. The doctor finally stepped out. He is fine. The bullet only grazed his wrist. We will run further tests, but for now he is stable. You can meet him. Relief washed over all of you. Sana hugged you tightly with a smile. Hoseok and Namjoon exhaled, smiling too. He was my boss, but he never judged, never disrespected my work. Always smiled, though it was incomplete. He looked at you. Give him a chance. He is the best. Every day I saw him regretting, fixing himself. You both were right. It was just the timing that was wrong. He looked down, overwhelmed. Later you hold his hand. Idiot, why would you come in front? I always will. He smiled faintly, caressing your cheek, wiping your tears away. I'm sorry. I know I never said it. I know it doesn't mean much now, but you are my ex, Jimin. The room fell silent. Faces dropped. Jimin lowered his eyes. Sana pouted. Hoseok frowned. Jungkook and Namjoon looked down sadly. Then you smiled. But I am looking forward to put N before my ex and T after it. Everyone frowned in confusion. Hoseok suddenly jumped with joy. It's next 10. Everyone laughed softly. You hugged Jimin tightly. That day, the police secured the recordings you would give your cop friend earlier. Mr. Kim and Kai were locked away for life. Luca and Manuel might be released someday, but your father and brother were gone forever. A week later, Mrs. Park was reading a book when footsteps echoed. She turned, her eyes softening instantly. Jimin, she stood smiling warmly. So long, my son. Smiles, I have a surprise for you. From behind you stepped out. Mrs. Park's eyes glistened with tears as she rushed forward, hugging you tightly. I'm sorry. No, my daughter. It wasn't your fault. It was just the time. She kissed your forehead. Your son is a stupid. Pout. I agree. Jimin shrugged and you both giggled together. Time escapes. You and Jimin were in the shower, your hands looped around his neck and his arm snaked around your wrist. The steam fogged the glass where faintly the words I love you were traced. You smiled and rotted again. I love you more. He leaned in, your forehead touching as the warm water cascading over both of you. Claws clenched, heartbeat in sync. You melted into each other's embrace, finally at peace in the water and in each other's arm. The end. If you really like the FF, please like, share and comment. And if you want to be the part of this illegal chums family, then subscribe to my channel. Annyeong.